Hi everyone, welcome back to Matthew Scar Models. Just an update on the Matchbox junker builds and the p40 in particular. I've got the aircraft assembled. It didn't go back together too badly. There was still a lot of damage on this area through here. I just got a little bit of putty I've got to remove because I noticed there was a couple of little small pinholes where I repaired it. It did go together okay. I put the interior in, all painted up and put back in. I got the gun sight back in the aircraft there. I've just got a little bit of touch up of black on that. I've got my pilot painted. I'll stick this back up his backside there. So my little pilot's painted and modified. I've turned the head on him. The whole idea of this was to paint him sitting in the aircraft so he's sort of looking out the window on the stand. I was going to try to have the zero sort of banking that way, while he's sort of banking, the zero turning away if I can. Depends how I want to try to work this out, how I'm going to do that, but that's something I'll work out in the end. The pilot in the kit is actually an English pilot. I've modified it to an American United States Army Air Force pilot. It will do. It will do. The canopy is still not as good as what I'd hoped to do. I tried it now the second time to clean it up and buff it, but it was fairly damaged. But you're still going to see everything on the inside that you want to see with the pilot with his head turned. So that'll be glued down. I'll be using some MIG Ultra. Someone told me to try this MIG Ultra, pretty strong. I just normally been using either running some extra thin cement in there or just the normal white PVA glue. But I'll try this MIG Ultra. There's going to be gaps around it that I will have to repair. It's where I've actually had to cut the canopy away from the plastic. It's not a really big gap. It's the thickness of a razor saw, which is not a real lot, but I'll glue him back in and then mask all the canopy up, repair where I need to repair, and spray a bit of zinc chromat green over it, and just to give so you can sort of see through the pieces on the bottom. The other thing that took me ages to do was scratch building these wheel well doors in the rear tail wheel. It might seem a simple task, but it was getting the right cover and contour, and what I sort of had to do was glue a piece in there temporarily, build it up, laminating some Plastruct evergreen little pieces of block, and then sand it all to shape, making sure there's still a line in the middle so it looks like it's opening and closing. That took about 2 days mucking around on and off when I had time to get the bench. I was getting really frustrated with it, but I'm happy that I've took out what I wasn't happy with and replaced it with something else. The big damaged hole that was in the bottom of the kit from where the original stand went through, I filled that up with gap filling super glue and Airfix styrene, like the sprue runners in our frames, and I like the old that plastic because it's quite soft. It was easy to work with. Looks okay. I won't know until I get some primer on it. I've got to slot a little hole here for the stand just to move it forward a little bit, so that little tab on these Matchbox stands go in. I've got to clean this and dip this off in some clear as well. The M for Matchbox, you might have seen my last video. I can't believe it. So the plan to do that will be to, excuse me, I'm tired, drill some holes in there to the right size and then just cleanly file it out. The other thing I did notice on this kit here, you'll see a slightly different colour bit of plastic. That's where the aerial was on these Matchbox kits. It was a little bit offset. I have to make a new one of those. And And then, yeah, I'll get some primer on it. I normally like using Mr. Surfacer or Tamiya, but because this has had enamel paint on it at one stage or another, I'm thinking it might play up going over the enamel. So I'm going to primer it in some Humbrol primer. It comes in the little cans, and see, that should work okay. Most Humbrol paint does work really well. It's just the drying time of the enamel paint. But while that's drying, I can get stuck into the Zero and do a bit more work to that. This is when I first looked at that kit, I thought this would be an easy, a lot less work than what the P40 had in it. I was wrong, even though it doesn't look too bad. It needs a lot of work. I've started repairing that broken piece here that was in that was missing out of this area here. I've got the front half piece glued in. I've just got to clean this out, get it back to shape to match this one. My main problem is going to be landing gear doors. I mucked up and damaged the Airfix one. The side's missing out of it now, but it's completely wrong. Like completely wrong size. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting some more of the styrene sheet here and tracing the best I can some sort of shape of the actual wheel cover, and then making something up, shimming it up and blocking it off, and then have to scribe the two pieces into it, and I'll see how I will go from there with that. I'm going to put the drop tank in it once I clean the drop tank up. It's still got where whoever built it before me didn't clean up where they removed off the sprue, which I love. The cowling, I've got to work where the cowling was cracked right through here. I've just about got that repaired. I don't know why that's gone blurry, sorry guys, but I've repaired that crack that was running through this area here. Just a bit of filler in it now. The spinner comes off. It's going to be an easy repair. It's got a real defined ridge there, how it was moulded. I'll just smooth it all out. Get that ready for the propeller disc. And yeah, that's about what I've got to do on that. The other piece I forgot to mention was another reason why it's hard to do. The replacement canopy I've got is going to be, even though it's fairly close. This is an Airfix Zero canopy I got for spares. It's not quite right in the shape, especially in through here, this dip down. So I'm going to have to sort of work on that, because what I thought would be a more accurate kit, I had a spare canopy that I got in decals off eBay, off a Hasegawa kit, and I thought these would be fairly accurate. This canopy is really, really narrow. So the Airfix canopy was more suited for the Airfix kit. I'll have to look at them both ways and see what's going to be the easiest to fiddle and repair with. But we'll have to have a look at that further when I get there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll get some bit of work done on the P40 now. Get the pilot glued in. Get that hole fixed and a couple of things. Yeah, that hole fixed in the tailplane here, as I said, get those done. Get this stand hole drilled out. I have to move it forward, so hopefully that will still work with that centre of gravity, because Airfix kits were sort of designed, Airfix Matchbox kits were sort of designed to sit in that pivot point. I don't know whether it'd be tail heavy or nose heavy, but if worse comes to worse, I can just glue that part of the stand in, because it will stay on the stand. Yeah, in the next video, hopefully I'll have some primer on the P40 and some work done to the Zero. Thanks for everyone. I've been watching with Chris's tribute builds. There's some fantastic stuff out there. I think he'd be really happy that everything's been done like it is. So well done, guys. Until next time, be safe, model hard, a little bit of effort. Oh, you know, that much. You can get a good result from an old model kit. Thanks to all my new subscribers as well. It's been very humbling. And all your kind comments. Till next time, see you later.